Test. 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 Test.
John? Hey,
Yes.
I hear you testing, so you're good.
Perfect. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, I was just I was testing to see if the echo was on the laptop, and it certainly was.
Uh,
You know what? I think we're gonna have a problem-free meeting tonight. How about you?
I don't think it's good to say those sorts of things. That might jinx it.
Well, I've never said it, and it seems like we always have something. Trying something new this time.
Uh,
But yeah, I guess if my laptop catches fire or something, we'll know not to try that again.
Oh,
Hi there.
how are you, Dave?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Let's see, we met last month, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that was my first meeting last.
Yes, it was. You're an Ellisvilleite,
Yes,
just like I am.
yes.
Well, they're coming right along with that, center building there, they're building this park. Yeah.
And we got the new trail segment done this last couple of weeks there
I saw
by the
it.
town hall.
Right Up there by the town hall, yeah, I saw it, yeah. I haven't driven up to look at it except from the road, but
Yeah, it's nice. It
Yeah.
goes way back. Haven't started the back to woods part where it connects to the senior.
well, that
center
part's
part.
not done yet.
It's like got gravel on it, but it's not all the way gravel, but Kelly and I, we work there at town hall, so we walk down there sometimes, so we've been following it,
Sure.
following the progress, I guess. It's fun to watch the guys out there doing that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, Ellisville's moving right along.
Mhm.
Awful lot of building over there.
Yes.
Unbelievable about building. That Loudon Road just amazes me every
Oh.
time I go out through there.
No, yeah.
I mean, it seems like there's 6 or 8 houses go up, you know, each week.
Well, I used to live in Prominence Point.
Uh-huh.
So, and I lived on Prominence Point, right there on Palisade that actually butted up to that field in the back,
Mhm.
where now all the hundreds of houses are. So
Oh, yeah,
that amazes me when I go in there and see that.
just phenomenal. Uh, I've heard several times that there was, I don't know, nothing ever seems to happen. That suppose there's a Wendy's coming in over there, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
No.
rumor was it somewhere around where the, old storage, between the fire station and the storage things, but nothing there. No, okay.
No, the biggest thing is the Jimmy John's, which that's coming along. really.
Finally, I lands,
I know it took a while before it really took off.
Yes, it did.
But, yeah.
yeah, the eye doctor place.
Mhm.
What are they gonna do for parking?
I don't know.
You know,
I'm guessing they must be gonna depend on the Jackson Feet Creek.
I guess it must
I don't
have made a
know.
deal with them or something, because.
There's nothing there, and that's the comments we get a lot.
Oh,
Is, you know, where are people gonna park?
People after I drive by and say, well, I mean, it can't be walk-ins only here. I mean, it's gotta have a parking lot somewhere.
Right, yeah. And then we have the Hawaiian Hoosier too. Have you been there yet?
That's, they're at Vine Street and, or,
Yes,
you know where I'm
where
talking.
the Vine Street
Yeah,
barbecue
yeah.
place.
I have not.
It's really good.
That's what 3 or 4 people told me. It's really good.
She catered the last chamber event, which was last Friday.
Uh-huh.
It was really good.
It's like Polynesian food, or what is it?
It's kind of Hawaiian type
Hawaiian,
stuff,
okay.
but she does a lot with spam. But the stuff I ate was like teriyaki chicken
Uh-huh.
and rice. It's really good. And the chicken is like on a bed of coleslaw.
Hmm.
It's really good,
Hmm.
really good. So.
Spam is really big in Hawaii.
Oh, yes.
You missed it.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for coming. There is a lot and we're moving everything up so our guests can go.
My pleasure. Thanks for the encouragement. I'm pleased.
This is Serena. She's new. This is her second meeting.
Yes.
Very cool.
I'm friends with Lisa, so when I seen her on the picture, I was like, hey, Lisa.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you're friends with Lisa Ridge?
Yes.
I've known Lisa for 40 years, almost 40 years. I remember when,
And yes, you don't have
I
to.
remember when she was hired.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think she said she's been there 38 years, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Here. So everything's going to be here. Lisa has to get to another meeting.
She's a busy lady.
She did like, and Penny thought she was coming, but she has to do another meeting too, or whatever she's doing. So we're trying to, the Dillon Bridge. Familiar.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
this won't take long. This is what we need to talk about.
Okay.
And Andy Knut's is coming.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Is there?
How are you?
I'm good. Everything.
Have my computer.
So I don't keep it over here.
Yes, appearances tonight.
Amazing.
Hopefully it's a red carpet.
Yeah, she's pretty important.
Yeah.
So, Kelly,
Yes, Joe.
on the old business, we actually moved both of those items.
Both of them. Let's just.
What happened to B?
It got kicked.
I said, it looked for me to see, I just wonder what B was.
No,
Eddie,
because we're
How are you
having.
tonight?
good, how are you?
Good.
Well, frost this morning?
You know, they said there was some up there.
We had frost, yeah, all the roofs in our addition were all white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that then.
It's
Bought an outdoor wheeler to heat our place with in January, and it's still sitting in the parking lot of Richard Small Engine, that's been installing it. Not ready.
We have guests. Yes. I have no idea. Wait, oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You just take a picture of
Yes.
on the bottom.
Yes,
that
I'll
number.
send it to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Kelly.
We haven't even seen each other.
Very good.
Oh,
First item here is the roll call of board members.
Evelyn? Joe?
Here.
Carolyn?
Here.
Kevin?
Here.
Carol? Edward is absent, and Serena? Here.
Evelyn was not able to be here, so she asked me to run the meeting tonight. I do have a request from Kelly to change item 3 to amend agenda this evening. Basically to move item 10, which is old business, 2 parts of that. Well, move those up to be just after item 6. That's just because a lot of people have got other meetings to get to. It'd be a lot better to do it that way. So anyway, basically, we would go from item 4, 5, 6, then we would have item 10, and we'd go back to item 7. So do I have a motion on that?
I was so moved.
Have a motion to approve the amended agenda. Have a second?
I'll say.
Second. Call the roll, please, Jamie.
Joe?
Yes.
Carolyn?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Serena? Yes. Thank you.
Item 4 is a statement of compliance, which I don't think applies to this meeting. Item 5 is public comment on non-agenda items. Have a public comment on agenda item? Don't think so. So then we're going to go to item 6, but she's not in here.
Well, Doug can talk on her behalf on item B.
Okay, let's do this then.
She's so busy, she's taking a phone call.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she's in the lobby.
So we're going to do
I'm sorry.
number 6, item B, Jackson Creek Park Conservation Easement.
Here's Lisa.
Whoop, what
Now, you guys move fast on
I
me.
told you.
Have a seat, Lisa. I'm sorry.
Somehow I do this.
She's not used to this. We're like,
No, I am not used to meetings like going like that.
We do it fast.
It's 3:33.
I know. Well,
When
we're
Joe
almost
is
done.
finished meeting,
Sure.
we're out of here. And you're on the 6th item already.
Yeah. Lisa Ridge is here from the
I
highway.
apologize.
Talk to us about Dillon,
Huh?
talk about the Dillon Bridge.
Okay, I can do that. So we are replacing the Dillman Road Bridge. We did a notice of funding availability with NDOT probably 2 years ago. So that's how long it takes you to get to construction for a bridge. So we have to do special provisions when we have like a steel truss bridge like this. So we have to have a place to store it. In our documents with NDOT, we have to have a commitment, not necessarily a financial commitment at this point, but a commitment on where we could store the bridge. I know there's been discussion in our trails meeting about using this bridge for the Limestone Greenway eventually for that trail. So in talking with the Trails Group, we thought it made sense to move this Dillman Road Bridge once and move it down to that mitigation property area that's down in that area.
if you look at page 4. It said,
You see a little dot, little red dot, that's the bridge. And the little blue dot is where it needs to go. As you can see, it's not very far.
And I can add to that, for those of you who are not familiar, we have the Limestone Greenway Trail goes down and it ends at the mitigation property, and it ends because there is a creek that goes through there and there is no bridge over the creek. And we've known that since we acquired that right of way. And we've always, the county, those who are familiar with the discussions that have taken place over the last 10 years, known that we would need to put in a bridge at some point. And it turns out we knew this bridge would be available at some point about this time. And we were told it would fit for this purpose. And Lisa, you can talk about it, but this bridge has some very interesting historical and design features to it that makes it not just any bridge, but a very nice bridge to have on a trail like this. And
Correct.
so there's a lot of reasons that I think we would want to keep the bridge, store it, and make use of the bridge at some point sooner rather than later.
So Lisa's asking if we can store it at the Limestone Greenway Park, AKA mitigation property.
And we're not talking next year. I think we just moved the letting date on that project to fiscal year 2026, if I recall. So that means a build, it'd be in probably 2026 that we would even be moving it. So it's not, it's a couple of years out. It's just in our documentation to NDOT, we have to provide the commitment at this time in the environmental document.
And we have a cutout on the mitigation, they call it a cutout, that we could put the bridge and not interfere with any of the mitigation or the trees or any of it.
So they do that in sections or?
I am not an engineer, but yes, I believe it is this.
I do have one.
And, hi, Andy Canoes, Flight over here, Cooper James, civil engineer. We've been working with Kelly and the Trails Group on some concepts where we're developing a concept plan for extending the Limestone Greenway and including that specific bridge and the design to cross that creek, just like we've been discussing. And so we've got like a concept plan for how that'll all work. And we're still developing it, but yeah, the bridge is the right width and it's not quite the right length, but that's fine. We can add some approach spans to make it.
Yeah, I've been over
the
that
right
bridge
length.
many times, so.
Yeah. So it really could fit quite nicely in that spot and it's in really pretty good shape for a bridge that's over 110, 120 years old on that scale. So we've had Daniel Kurtziel is a like historic bridge restoration expert, and then Jim Barker they have their own consulting company now that's all devoted to historic bridge restorations and relocations. And so they've prepared actually a letter and a whole design report on the relocation of this bridge structure. And there's a couple of ways to do it. Getting to your question about whether they disassemble it, they would have to do some disassembly, yes. But it's conceivable that the whole length of the thing is 72 feet long. If they like take out the spans between, I'm not a bridge engineer, so I won't get all the right terms, but the 72-foot long trusses could conceivably be transported like in one piece all the way over to the new location. So, and then stored on, we'd have to put down like a compacted gravel pad to store it on and like make sure that we don't allow trees to grow up through it while it's waiting for its final installation and everything. So there'd be some prep work to do at the mitigation site.
Bridges are neither cheap nor easy to find, so this seems to make the last.
Yes. Yeah, the preliminary estimate for like disassembly for transport, equipment to lift the bridge, hauling the bridge, preparation of the storage area. Daniel Kurtziel put together an estimate. He thought it might be $40,000 to just get it over there and prepare it to store, basically, which for a
It's a lot
bridge.
cheaper than moving one from Park County, which we
Yeah.
looked at some point years ago.
One addition I think we're going to make, that Carol mentioned, having gone over the bridge many times, a new deck would be put over the steel
Yes.
grid pattern there, to make it more conducive to pedestrians and bicyclists and
Yes.
so forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're not asking the park board to foot 20,000, but just to say yes to the storage. And then we'll contact council and commissioners and tell them about this wonderful opportunity they have.
So I said, it seems like it makes the best decision. So we can't move on with that trail until we have a bridge over that span, so.
And of course, we will try to write a grant, and try to get some matches, because to put the bridge back together is going to cost a pretty penny. So that's in the future. Lisa needs to know this month now, if we would commit to at least storing it on the property. That's all she needs.
You've got a site down there without any Does not interfere with anything as far as we're concerned.
It doesn't interfere with anything. We have a plot of land that we can do anything with.
And there aren't a lot of people on that land because
It's not.
closed, so.
And we would fence it off also, the bridge. I mean, we would try to secure it so people don't steal it.
Someone who disassembled a historic bridge from scrap metal about 10 years ago or something. Do you remember that?
I don't, but I can see people playing.
I think this occurred
That's why we
Yeah.
would want to fence it.
elsewhere. Was it in Indiana or elsewhere? It was a big deal at the time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But Andy has part staff, at least during the summer months.
Truck over the
Bring
bridge.
it back on.
In Delphi.
So we'll check on the bridge. And
They can.
Okay.
we'll, like all of a sudden, if we notice someone has taken something.
Well, the mitigation property is locked off and not accessible anyway. So
Correct.
we'd have to break into the property to begin with.
Bad people do bad things.
Yeah,
We'll keep an eye on it.
okay.
But it's the worst case scenario, nothing ever works out, we can always sell the bridge ourselves for scrap. I'm just saying, worst case scenario.
But ideally, it won't sit there for very long before we've got the rest of the trail ready to go for the next.
So do we need a motion?
Yes, you do.
And I will make a motion.
It's a limestone greenway.
Approve the storage of the limestone trail bridge at the limestone greenway trail on the mitigation property.
All right, we have a motion, I think
Hillman
that
Road,
officially called the Hillman Road.
Yes, the Gilman Road Warren Crest Bridge.
Okay. Stored at the limestone greenway, basically mitigate part. That's part. Okay. Now, we have a second.
I'll second.
This is why we have scripts at our meetings. Thank-
We're not staying.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion. Not call roll, Jamie.
Joe,
Yes,
Carolyn,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and Serena.
Yes.
motion passes. You got permission.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now she has another request.
All right, now we got the,
She brought her own engineer.
now we got the Jackson Creek Park Conservation. No, got this. Which one are we on? Yeah,
Oh,
Jackson Creek Park Conservation easement.
I'll let the expert.
well, they may want to know why this is happening.
So I don't know if you're familiar with our Karst Trail extension. Hopefully you've been on it because it is open and it's gorgeous. We could probably do they're actually over there putting up we have 2 traffic signals. And I believe that's our last 2 items to finish up that whole project. Then we'll do a punch list. That'll be done. The intermediate completion date's November 15th, so we shouldn't have a problem meeting that. But so we have to do mitigation for the project. So we worked with Kelly on working mitigation side, I believe it's Jackson Creek Park. So Doug can tell you a little bit more about that mitigation side in the easement.
Okay, so the mitigations required by DNR, we had to get a construction and floodway permit for that extension of the trail. And they take the acreage of trees that we had to knock down there and then make us mitigate that elsewhere. So we're needing 1/3 of an acre. And we're able to find that pretty easily on the Jackson Creek Park, unfortunately. So DNR has requirements for what kind of trees and plantings go in there, and we customize it to the site here to make sure it's going to fit for the wetness, because the area is pretty wet. So we were looking at just extending, for those of you who have the maps, just extending a tree line that's already there 30 feet. There's some gaps and walkways that get in there to the creek. We're going to leave that intact, so we're not going to block those. I changed it a little bit when we were talking, yeah. Yeah, we were aware of some easements that were going through the park as well. We're staying out of all that. So what DNR is going to require is, once this is planted by the trail contractor, we have to dedicate the easement just to guarantee in perpetuity, it doesn't get ripped out later. So it'll be conservation easement, just make sure it doesn't get put back to a lawn or paved or anything like that. And I think one person had already asked me about what kind of plantings, so I had them email me. So we're talking about a mixture of large trees, there'll be saplings for now, one inchers, shrubs, wildflower seed mix, and grass seed mix. And the tree species that we had them to choose from is red maple, shellbark hickory, American beech, American sycamore, bur oak, and pin oak. And then the shrubs, we're looking at the hornbeam, a couple dogwood species, and arrowwood, just to give you an example. So the contractor has all the stock ready to go. And I don't know if he used all these species, but he had to use a certain mix. So once this gets approved, he's ready. I think he's gonna be ready to start planting this maybe as soon as next week. I should talk to the inspector.
So what Doug needs on page 15 is the conservation easement that Justin has already here. So we're asking the park board to approve this conservation easement. I have already, there's two DNRs. One DNR Doug's working with. My DNR was the grant people, because there's a grant attached to that property. And they wrote me a note. They said, yeah, the easement language looks good to us and we approve. So my DNR people say, yes, this DNR. So everything's good to go. So is that all you need, Justin, for them to approve?
I think that's all we need.
Just approve, easement?
You know, the squirrels in town live in the south.
Yeah. If you have more questions for
Yeah,
Doug,
and
so.
then, and once that's approved, and we'll wait till after it gets planted, but we'll want to record it.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's,
Well, are you ready for a motion?
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve a mitigation and conservation easement attributed to Jackson Park. Board.
Couple seconds.
Motion second. Further discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Everyone,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Serena,
yeah.
and Joe.
Yes. Motion passed.
Question for Justin. Does the commissioner should the commissioner sign this or who's signing this?
Probably, I would say, probably in front.
Would have to be whatever entity owns the property.
Which is the park board. So now, so
They might have to approve it.
So it's.
Thank you, sorry for
Thank
being
you.
late.
well, that's all right. Oh my goodness, who
I hope my next meeting moves that fast.
Yeah. Come on, Edward.
It's the next year.
Years before we can.
Hey, oh, I'm running the meeting.
Oh.
He's the level.
Okay, this is where we amended the agenda, so now we're down to item 10, old business, item A, Staff Lake Complex Project Update.
Did you all get the handout?
No, you got it. I think it says that.
Yes, it does.
That's amazing.
Well, there's always good news, and Andy's here to tell you some thoughts and possibilities, and that's why Kate's here.
Okay.
And Justin's always here.
Okay, so, yes, the bid results are here from the bid opening yesterday for the Karst Athletic Complex. And the low bid was from Reed and Sons Construction, with all the alternates included, comes to $3,210,420. And that's over $1 million under the budget. So, which, I mean, that's a good problem to have. I'm honestly a little embarrassed that my estimate was so far up, but I was trying to,
I
make
pushed him.
sure we were,
Price is high.
yeah, I was trying to make sure we were, we had it covered, and well, we had it covered amply. So I guess the discussion now, and, I still have the bid documents in front of me, and I'll review them thoroughly and make sure that everything's covered here, but I, at first glance, I believe that it is. We've worked with Reed and Sons a lot. They've done work for the county before, and
That was my next question, we know these guys have.
yeah, they do lots of work for IU and we just completed a project at MCCSC over at Highland Park Elementary, which they did a great job there. So we work with Reed and Sons a lot. We feel that they're totally capable of doing this work. And their bid included the preferred, materials for AstroTurf and the Brock fill, like organic infill material for the synthetic turf. So that was exactly what we were aiming for when we wrote the specifications. So honestly, all the way around, we're really happy with how the bid results came in and excited about this project. And now I guess the question is,
We have an opportunity to put maybe an additional turf field out there, which would equal 3 instead of 2. We would have to rebid just this one because of an Indiana code. Anywho, with good news comes bad news. In 10 to 12 years, then you'd have to replace 3 fields, the carpet, instead of 2 fields.
Like 15.
Right. Now Jeff McKim, just so you know, Jeff McKim always had it in his head that he wanted 4, because we have room for 4 synthetic fields there. We didn't know that maybe we have in our price point to put a 3rd one. But that means we are telling the council and commissioners of the future that you have some more carpet to replace. Because the park board has already donated to this cause. They probably will not donate anymore. Veterans has donated. They will donate it to the carpet replacement also. So there is no more besides us and the cutters, what we put in. So estimate of carpet replacement.
for 2 fields, I had estimated, just replacing the carpet and the infill material are a little over
Not
$1
the shock
million.
pad.
Yeah.
So
The shock pad should be good for at least 2 cycles of turf replacement. So
What was the number?
about $1 million, a little more than $1 million, just to replace that target about 10 years from now. If it's 3 fields, then it'll be more like $1.5 million.
There's no economy of scale on
Oh, right.
replacement.
Yeah, there is a little bit,
Okay.
but yeah,
It's mostly material.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, material and labor.
What are you using for a price for putting in the 3rd field? Isn't it?
Well, I haven't, honestly, today, I haven't had the opportunity to really get an estimate together of all the engineering that would need to happen for that 3rd field. But just based on the way the bids came in, I feel comfortable that a 3rd field could be constructed for about, under $1 million.
No frills, no
Yeah.
lights, just the field.
Okay, and the 2 fields that we're having done by Reed and Sons, if their bid is approved, are gonna cost how much for just the fields?
Well, I don't have that level of detail, and I have the total project, which includes also, the natural grass restoration, the irrigation and drainage and everything over at field 6 and 7, some parking lot restoration, all the electrical for the lighting.
And the good news about this is that if we rebid for a second project, it will not affect any of the ARPA provisions, because I'm spending all that money on the first one. I'll have the contract signed by December 31st. So we don't have the ARPA concerns for timing. But if we do this, we want to do this as soon as possible to get the bids out, get them back in, because this will all be done at the same time. We can't die.
Are you assuming that the low bid on the rebid would be Reed and Sons because of the economies of scale and the fact they already have?
Yeah.
And we would specify however you do it, AstroTurf and broad fill. So we know exactly all of the fields will be done. Because we can specify that.
Okay.
Can't specify
I'd say
the
that.
vendor.
Reed and Sons with, the AstroTurf materials, I think they would have sort of an insurmountable advantage if we, get all the timing right. Like the other contractors who were just in here yesterday for the bid opening, they know that they're not going to be able to beat Reed and Sons on, more work on the same location where Reed & Sons is already gonna be there, mobilized and building this work, so,
So is there a reason why you would still bid out to everybody and not just?
You probably have to under Indiana code. In fact, you do have to. Change orders can only be up to 20%. In my brief review, I just heard about this yesterday from Kelly, and I need to loop in Jeff a little bit more, but they can be up to 20% for a change order, but it has to be something that was unforeseen. So in other words, you can't just decide that it's like, well, we want to add another project and call that a change order. You do a change order if parts change or if something came up that was unforeseen. So we're just gonna have to bid the new part out. So both for percentage wise and for.
No, that's fine.
And are we anticipating that if we waited and did this later, that the price would be more even beyond the just the normal rise in price that we have?
yeah. Yeah, also, it would take, another mobilization of the contractors to the site and prices are gonna go up between now and then. And yeah, just the economies of scale of having, the contractor.
Has this other money lined up already.
Probably. In the area, in the excavation has to all happen at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they're all here.
Can you remind me what the carpet replacement is, it 2 years, 4 years,
10 years.
10 years?
And,
Well, 8 to 10 years.
well, and the one gentleman said, that was here, he said 12 on this one field.
Yeah, he was talking about the Andy Moore baseball field where IU plays. And they've had AstroTurf on that field for 14 years now and
It's just hard. But
and they're just replacing it now. So
It's not the same level.
But I've met IU baseball players and they're kind of lackadaisical, so.
Anyway, we don't know.
No, it's only been.
So what, basically, to round this out, you're basically saying is, do we make the decision of, in the next 8 years, funding an additional $500,000?
Right.
Because we have the funds right now.
Yes.
Somebody,
Somebody.
but basically we have 8 years to come up with $500,000.
And it had always been in the plan with this particular piece of property that it could hold 4 synthetic fields. Doesn't mean we're building 4 synthetic fields, but it is perfect for synthetic. Soccer's growing, it's still growing. We're bursting at the seams right now. In order for us to keep playing and not having rainouts, it would be, I don't even know what word to use. Another field would do for us and do for the community and maybe tournaments.
It would be that much more of a draw for tournaments too.
But
Is it that much more of an income generator at any level?
it depends if we get an extra tournament.
Would it be an extra income generator through our hotels and our innkeepers tax, that because the convention and visitor center might be able to help support the replacement later on?
Maybe
Because they were so excited about this turf field.
they have $500,000 in the gate. And I know that they would want their $500,000 to go support synthetic turf. Now, another question which I can't answer today is that, would they, and I'm making a number up, like every year, $50,000, keep setting aside. I don't know how they are.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
And I don't think that's on their radar.
Okay. But I don't want them to take back their money either.
I don't think that's on their radar either, but I know that it was, a very specific instance of an ask and an okay. And I do think they're very supportive. I'm not sure. Maintenance type things like replacements, even if it's a capital investment thing like that, they're not very sexy, Donating to the new field, that's
Well, and,
amazing.
probably a fair statement.
Is it possible by having 3 fields instead of 2, that there would be less annual wear on those 3 fields?
For sure.
2 fields. Maybe we'll get another couple of years out of the fields because.
I don't know if I'd go that far because I believe the 3 fields will be booked solid. Because we would take the pressure off the grass. So
But replacing grass isn't as expensive. I mean, maybe we shouldn't automatically book the AstroTurf fields to the max. If it's
Well,
so costly.
mostly they'll be used for rain out, a lot of rain out.
Yeah,
I mean,
that would
would
fine.
be this, every time it rains here.
Well, I think we should get some thought into it as to a management plan.
Oh, yeah.
The two types of fields because of the cost. And if there is a way to use them with less wear and tear and possibly get more use out of that original.
And we might be able to stagger the carpet, like maybe two fields get replaced one year and the next field is replaced. And it could be, a lot of us UV damage.
Can I ask, is there something else that maybe, is there, well, kind of two questions. First question, is there a different, I'm not against the third field by any means, but is there a different corner that we maybe didn't cut, but maybe rounded? Was there maybe, hey, it'd be good to add up bleachers, or it'd be good to add fencing around the fields or something like that, that we didn't take into account that we should be thinking about adding?
It's all ticky-tack stuff. Like
Okay.
the little stuff I had, gosh, it was so ticky-tack, benches, tables.
Yeah, that's the stuff like
But that's not a lot of money. We're
Okay.
talking about
and then
$10.
second question, and maybe this might be a little bit more towards commissioners, but this money that got pulled from a little bit of everywhere. Is there anything that, I don't know if maybe there was any agreements per se, but anywhere where, hey, park board put up this much, and foundation gave this, and whoever, each person gave this much, knowing that somebody else was giving this much, and then we had the ARPA money. But now, whose money is not getting spent if we don't do the third field, that somebody might, in a sense, want to redact their money because it's like, oh yeah, well, originally you were saying you needed this, but now you only ended up needing 3/4 of what you needed, so why did you ask for so much in the first place, kind of thing?
That's what's a concern. We'll use the ARPA money first. CDC money next. And we take out engineering out of the bond just because the bond was in place. We signed this contract, so the engineering's been coming out. There will be CDC money left over. And I don't know, maybe they'll ask for it back. And I know they don't want to fill potholes with it. Because we will, what we did calculate in this, which we can always take care of, is that our interior park road from Enright to field 11 most likely will get damaged. That is not included in any of this, but that could be a nice little change order, that'd be less than 20%. But we're still got money on the table.
That's one of the comments I think I would make on this, just having a little bit of experience in construction business. We've got a total cost here estimated at 3.98 million, right? Total cost of project.
Well, from Reed and Sons bid, it's 3.2.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking about pre-construction.
Oh, there, okay. Sorry.
It's not at all uncommon for there to be up to 10% of overruns of things that weren't called. I don't know how much rock removal was figured in.
There's an allowance for it.
Well, it better be a good one because that's close to a quarry out there. So, I hate to spend money that we're going to turn around then and be short.
Well, we can, if we go out to bid, we can either accept the bid or not accept it.
Well, that doesn't even approach the question. Question is, what if we spend $500,000 over? And you've already spent money on the third field, where's the 500 come from?
I highly doubt we'll go that much over plus. Well, if the commissioners put in $250,000 for park projects for 2024 bond. I don't know if the council has approved it yet. There's another 250,000
And we do that. I mean,
available.
bonding is.
So I don't think it should be that far off I mean, that's.
I also think that if the third field is not under lights, it won't wear out quite as fast.
And that's true too. And when we have, we're not,
You know,
no frills on the third one.
to Joe's point, I mean, I think it's a good point and all, that's probably what you've made before, but if this came in at bid, we would be running the same risk. We hadn't discussed having that kind of margin there for overruns. And so if it came at bid or above bid, we would have just as big a problem or bigger problem. So I think we don't want to cut it too tight. I agree from that standpoint. You know, hopefully adding this on will still leave us with working funds to address cost overruns and all of that. But it seems to me that this is like the original project itself, kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity that we should take advantage of, because if we just do the two fields, it's going to be hard to do another field or two fields there. I mean, we will. I just think this is probably all the fields that we're going to get out of here, and so getting 3 would be a big deal.
And usually, I'm very worried about money all the time. After Andy does his crunching, and if we decide to go out to bid for a second project, we will know if we feel comfortable, if we think, oh my gosh, this is too close, too tight. For sure, I really think we'll be all right. I really do. We have accounted for, and I don't know about all the rock, but we have accounted for, I think, a lot of contingencies. I really do on this.
And if I could add one other thing about the paying for the replacement, worst case scenario, we get no other commitments other than what we already have to replace the surface 10 years from now. And it comes that time and all 3 fields are worn out and we only have enough to replace 2 of them. We replace 2 of them, we're still better off. We got 10 years of use out of a field. Plus, I think that having one field not replaced will create a lot of incentives for money to be found close to that time to do it, even if the commitment's not made now.
That's good.
There'll be the incentive. Oh, you're only gonna do 2 of the 3? I mean, come on.
Force them into a corner.
But I'm not saying we rely on
Get more
it. I'm
targets.
saying
I honestly
realistically,
think,
we'll
yeah.
have gotten value for the 3rd field.
I-
Plus, there would be a lot of
Yeah.
motivation to get the 3rd field redone.
It's kind of one of those things that when if you want to build a new playground as opposed to fix something that's dilapidated and starting to look rough, people don't like eyesores. And I kind of like that. That's a good point, not replacing a field would turn into an eyesore, but still, if it's like, hey, we had the funds to replace 2, but now we have a 3rd one, that's a good point.
I agree with Kevin, as in it is a one in a lifetime opportunity. I've been here over 30 years. This is it. And too bad it took a pandemic. But this is how this all happened, how we had funds to do this. I think it will help our soccer kids, it'll help our lacrosse kids, tournaments. We don't really, us, the Parks Department, we don't gain money for tournaments, but everybody else does it. The hotels, the food, the wait staff. That's who makes the money. And everyone, we're lucky. We live Bloomington and I use here, people want to come here. It's not like it's in the middle of the cornfield and no one wants to come here. They want to come here for a tournament. They want to go on campus and look at
Nice in the middle of the cornfield.
right? But they like to go on campus. They like to do other things. It's a big draw. You can do a lot more things. And John and Matt and I talk daily about scheduling and how we're going to do things, how we're going to manage it. So it's not going to be a surprise. We're going to have to beat the people down and all want to play. But it's going, playing a lot, soccer's taking off even more than we anticipated. And maybe footage too. We think footage. Oh, well, it's hard.
That probably.
As Anyway, there's a lot of things in the future too, that we can play on those fields. But I agree, Joe, I watched the budget like a hawk, and we would watch the bids come in, and if we feel comfortable, we'll go forward. Like I said, we have a cushion in the 2024 bond. And worst case scenario, park board, you're sitting on the most cash you've ever sat on in 30 years. You know, if we need an extra 10,000, you have it. Look at our balance. This is the most money we've ever had, and we've been saving and saving and saving just in
What's needed?
case.
Do you guys need like a motion to?
Well, I mean, I need to talk to the commissioners. I need to talk to the council. We need to make this go quickly because we have to get Andy, we have to get a contract with them to get the engineering done and get the bid stuff out. We don't have the December 31st ARPA contract on us. So, you know, if it goes to January, we're still okay because we're not dealing with the ARPA money. So we have time to get it pushed through and get everything out, get the bids, have them come back in and be ready for construction. You know, if we award all the bids and get everything out.
But on the original bid from yesterday, the commissioners will be the ones approving
Yes.
that.
Yes,
And that's the Reed and Sons for the first two fields. So
Yes.
that's not what the issue is.
that is not true. I just want,
Yes.
we have an opportunity and they'll want to know, what you know, what was the park board discussion about this? Because it's a big
Okay.
commitment in the future. I might be here too.
We might want to have a motion to say the park board's preferences.
Well, I'm happy to make a motion and that we move forward with getting another bid put out for a third field and using the funds that we came in under bid on the existing project to complete a second project for the third turf field.
Before you second. Andy hasn't crunched the numbers yet. There is a slight chance that we could do a fourth field.
Oh, come on, really?
If we bare bones, he doesn't know. My gosh, the poor guy he hasn't crunched the numbers
Yeah.
yet to feel comfortable. And we could do as two, like, put the bid out for everything and then say,
Make it
no,
say
that one.
field 12 would be the base bid. And
Make it two different projects under one bid, like how this was 4 different projects.
yeah, just in case it could fit within this
No, it's not reading
extra
it.
budget we've got. It wouldn't hurt to get a price on it.
If you want to do one or two fields depending on
Yeah, I would say
engineering.
I would make a motion that engineering moves forward with putting out a bid, a 2-part project of a single bid for a third and fourth field to revisit potential of using balance of funds for a potential third and a potential fourth.
Just in case.
But you're not saying, yeah, we know that we want to do that.
Well, what we could do is, once he crunches the numbers, if we even feel somewhat confident, he can put a bid for one and an alternate for 2.
Okay, but if you
And then-
crunch the numbers and you say, no way, we can do the fourth one, I don't.
Yeah.
This motion that lock you into doing the fourth one.
Oh, no, that's not locking us.
No,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying, and a potential fourth.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like Jamie.
You get your
It's longer than, he has a whole month to figure it out.
I'll second that.
You want to repeat it for us, Kelly?
Is that, I'm representing for, that was a joke. I tried, but it would be my own words.
Jamie, I'm sure it's gonna look great.
Okay, further discussion? Jenny?
Joe,
Yes.
Carolyn,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Edward,
Yep.
and Serena.
Yes.
Thank you.
One more thing. Similar topic.
You gotta do 12 fields now.
We're not doing drainage
One more
on
thing.
6, 7, and 8.
You don't have to vote on this because I don't have the number, but Bledsoe will need more engineering fees to do this. So basically, I'll just bring it to the commissioners under one of the bonds or something for the additional engineering for the third or for the bid package. Yeah, the bid package. So just so the park board's aware that's going to happen, but it's not from your funds.
I have one design question on this. Is the idea that, your idea that these fields, whether it be 3 or 4 fields, all be in line or in a square or something? How would they be configured?
Yeah, well, okay, we've got fields 9 and 11 are the ones we've got a bid for right now. So those will get done, and 10 and 12 are immediately north of those. So it just.
It's a square.
It's a square.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we only did 3, we would have a L-shaped
Yeah,
design.
yeah.
What would you do with the opening in the L? Just
Leave it grass.
leave it-
And it'll be played upon, or when we have tournaments, tournament tents and
Yeah.
people bring their 10x10s and flop them there and it'll be.
Can we build a tower in the middle so you can observe all three?
We'll call it the Edward Tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
We're gonna build a Quidditch field, we're gonna have that last.
plus that fourth field that say is still grass, it has no utilities. So we can put tents all over the place without.
That's
worrying
That is-
about it.
kind of an engineering question since I haven't already opened the window. I'm gonna go ahead and jump out through it too. You said that this third field, possibly fourth field would be bare bones, no lights. But when we talked about lights months ago, when we first were talking about this, there was discussion about stubbing out and creating the underground utilities for a future light.
Yeah.
And that would be on this third and fourth field, the underground concept would already be there or not?
Maybe, but we could run the conduits, like,
They're already stubbed on the first project. We're ready to go for 2 fields
Yeah.
with the first project.
yeah.
We've already made those.
4, 9, and 11, the fields that are already gonna be.
Right, but we've
We've
made,
got stubs on the.
We've got
north side
stubs
where-
on
where we can
everything.
Run on
Oh,
those for the.
okay.
we've already engineered
Yeah.
for 2 more fields
Yeah.
at the end of those fields.
Yeah,
They,
and we could run, I mean, we could run conduits out into fields 10 and 12 for possible future light installation. If we were gonna do that, we might also want to, like, bore in and set the precast bases for possible future light pole installation.
this is getting more expensive.
Yeah,
I say we're good.
No, that's what
And the
I'm
ones on
gonna
the
work.
outside at least would be fine.
Yeah.
It would just be for the-
yeah.
I'm just saying that because if we're already doing the soil work, I don't want us to build, because of funds, build a bare bones field, because we can only afford that. And then we end up tearing up a portion of it because we have to come back and create lights 5 years down the
There's a
road.
section between the 2 fields that won't be turf.
Yeah,
The other one has concrete. We can't put concrete there in case we get lights, so I don't know if it's gonna be gravel. So we have an area. You won't be disturbing any of the synthetic turf to put in utilities.
right,
Is that a fair statement?
yes. Well, if we just do field 12, we could leave, that center aisle open.
Yes.
And just set a curve there, leave, we've got between, one on all these plants, so.
There, Andy, may I help you as well, hold it up.
So,
I'm sorry, I know maybe we kind of, I know about the windows, I turned it out. but-
No, I mean, no,
I just-
we tried to
Just
plan
have
ahead.
that concrete area, you can see that gravel or grass and that still be able to.
I would say grass, and I don't know if you want gravel being tracked out onto the turf.
But either way, it's something that you can still drill through the plant.
Yeah.
Between there.
I guess, and it's not like the decisions are being made right now, but just more so just making sure that whatever decisions are being made when engineering sends us out to be spec, that we are forward-thinking about, even though these are bare bone fields when we're building them, that we're setting ourselves up for not having to destroy our bare bone field to then make them not bare bones.
I don't know if y'all can come over here.
So, well, I think, with this project, okay, so. Here's field 9 and 11. North is up here. So we've got a 16-foot wide center spine of concrete, and And the lights are gonna go in here. We've got all these shade canopies going in here, drinking fountains and hose bibs. And all that stuff is going down the middle.
It's very enthusiastic.
Or change is important.
Yeah, and so if we're just gonna do field, so that's field 911. Field 12 would be here, further to the north of field 11, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so if field 12 is here, I think we would just extend the curb line, but not the whole center spine of concrete. We're gonna do field 12, and that would leave it open to later come in and extend all the conduits and the water line and everything coming up the middle for future light installation and everything.
Okay.
If we were gonna do field 12 and field 10, then we'd probably want to extend the conduits with it and all the concrete and maybe set those precast bases for the 2 light poles.
He can do all those as alternates.
Or just leave
the
it.
grass holes and plant trees there for now.
And just leave it grass.
You know, then you got leaves on the side.
And they can come in later and stay in between it.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway, he can do
It sounds like you're already thinking about that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't try to tell you. I'm not an engineer. I don't know anything. I should have
He can do
just.
alternates.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can, we'll have to work through that a little bit.
There.
But I think we can certainly plan it out so that we're not painting ourselves into any corners. That makes sense.
We always try to do things that won't cost us more money.
You're the man.
Okay. Anything else on, have we voted on this? No.
No, that was the further discussion, so.
Oh,
That was my further.
Now we need the actual vote.
Man, you run a slower meeting.
I voted on.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure that we need more engineering and it'll come to the committee. Not to the front door.
You really are filling in Evelyn's shoes.
You're crazy. Okay, that's enough on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to 7th.
Flatwoods Park restroom project update. This is still old business, item C.
Okay, I'm gonna read you something. You'll be confused, then I'll tell you what it really means. Well, it's really, you have to wrap your head around it. Okay. And I've talked to, I haven't talked to you, but you've been in the loop. The auditor's office, the council office, and this is what we're going to do for funding for the Flatwoods Park restroom is, if you will notice in your county general, you have $200,000 sitting in your contractual line. We are going to let that revert back to the county coffer at the end of the year. Here, Kate. She's gonna hang that, she's gonna hold that $200,000. And in the 2024 bond that's making its way through the progress, there's $100,000 earmarked for reimbursement for the council's additional appropriation to parks that they made a few months ago so we could get the restroom order. And early in 2025 parks, we will request an additional appropriation of $100,000. I think the council. So here's our 200,000 we gave to Kate. Here's our other 100,000 in the bond, and we're gonna ask for another 100,000, so there's 200,000. So everything's gonna equal out. That's how we're going to fund. And everyone seems to be happy with that financial situation. And if you want to tell them when it starts or.
Oh, the construction, will start in March. Very likely. We haven't got the restroom ordered yet, but, we're working with Strasser Construction. They're working with the vendor to get us some shop drawings on what exactly that restroom structure is gonna look like, and we'll get those shop drawings
And
reviewed.
whatever.
Yeah, so in the next few weeks, I expect we'll have those shop drawings reviewed and back to Strasser, and they'll order that restroom structure, and it'll very likely be delivered in May. So then, once we know the delivery date, the contractor, they'll kind of work backward from there as to when they want to start, so that they have the whole site ready for that restroom structure to be delivered and set on the.
So good news for Flatwoods, and the finances are all situated. I believe everyone's happy.
And this is what the council prefer, this letting the money revert. Okay, I assumed it was for your benefit because I didn't see the benefit necessarily for the park. But that's
No,
fine.
we don't encumber anymore. It's too much
Okay.
craziness.
Yes, this is the way I did go over.
Remind me, did we bed these restrooms or are we going through some exception?
We
They were,
did,
it was bid.
It was bed, okay.
and Strauss.
Strasser.
Strausser.
Strasser Construction.
With this big housing addition that's has been started west of Ellisville, which is literally not very far from Flatwoods Park. What's the status of sewer?
I haven't talked to Mike Farmer recently. Usually I talk to him every once in a while and he goes, not yet, Kelly. Be a while. So I haven't talked to him. Maybe you probably see Mike Farmer every day. You can ask him.
Well, I mean, there's no house is gonna be stolen until the sewer.
Right.
So the sewer is gonna be there.
I think sewer's already, like Richard's small engine. I think that, I think it's just about to the corner there, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't go
I mean,
past.
that's still a mile from.
Yeah, a mile from it, but yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that a little bit at like, what would it take to put in a mile long force main from Flatwoods to connect it, Richards, and it's more than we want to worry
Yeah.
about, so.
Well, yeah, but
do what the Romans.
It's close though.
the backside of that housing addition is not a mile from Flatwoods.
Yeah,
It might be a half a mile,
yeah,
Yeah.
because it goes all the way over to Star Road,
yeah.
that housing addition.
A lot of times. So the Flatwoods restroom, we're gonna have holding tanks in the ground, so they're basically septic tanks that just need to get pumped. So we're not putting in a drain field for the septic system. It's just.
That could be connected. So,
Yeah, so,
Yeah, this would not prevent.
yeah, so it could be,
that's what.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can
this would not
plan for that in the future.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that will happen. I think it, maybe 10 years from now, but I think it will happen.
Well,
Yeah.
and Owen County's got sewer and water, I think, coming down County Line Road. They just put in last year when we were building the playground, at least water.
It's actually closer, I
Yeah,
think, to
yeah.
Flatwoods that way.
yeah,
So Flatwoods Park has a new playground. We'll have a new restroom, pickleball courts, new basketball court. Andy and the guy, they've been working very hard on a brand new trail system, which we're not 100% done yet. So Flatwoods has gotten a complete renovation and a makeover, and it's just going to be wonderful for the, next 20 years.
It's changed drastically since we've put in that new playground. Like, it's just packed
Oh, I
all
know
the
it.
time now since we put in that.
Well, we're talking about that housing addition. You probably are the expert here. Is there a provision in that development for a trail? The reason I say that is, the goal is to get that trail from the Richard B. Mossick schools all the way Flatwoods. And there's always been a hitch through there because there's a property owner, one particular property owner, didn't want to talk to us about it. But I think this housing addition bypasses his property.
Well, I know Mike Farmer, it's in his head. He's been working on it. And I believe he's been working very hard on it. I don't know the route that he has in mind, but he knows we want to get from the town hall to the school system to Flatwoods, Flatwoods to Owen County.
Right.
Owen County to McCollum Street, Park to Spencer. So we're working very hard on it.
Very good.
And she works in the same building as Mike and Denise Line.
So do we need to talk, we don't have any.
No, I just wanted to update it.
Good stuff.
They're all exciting. Now, amazingly enough,
Well, before you go on, I don't know if you two need to leave. Are you good? I mean, you're more than welcome to leave. That was the most important items. That's why.
Jamie needs to leave.
well, I actually think the rest of this is going to be quite quick.
Okay, I just gave him the opportunity because I know Penny had another meeting.
Item 7, approval of the September 18th meeting minutes. We haven't done that yet, so anybody have any questions, comments on those? Other things?
We don't have our spell checker.
No.
Jeremy first, Lisa.
Any comments on the minutes from September 18th? If not, entertain motion.
So moved.
Got a motion to approve the minutes from September 18th. Do you have a second? You have in there.
I'll second it.
A second. Okay, call the roll on that, please, Jamie.
Joe,
Yes?
Carolyn,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Edward,
I'm gonna abstain, I wasn't here.
and Serena.
Yes.
Okay,
One point I'd like to make on that subject is, I wasn't here either, but I think I can vote to approve the minutes despite not having been present.
Yeah. You can choose to
Yeah,
abstain.
if one could choose to-
I just never do, because I never review them since I wasn't here.
Okay. Since we needed the majority.
To be 100% honest.
okay, page 29 is the, non-reverting claims.
I'll make the motion to approve the non-reverting claim for September 2024.
I'll second.
Discuss further. So my question is on this refund that we made on the commons, because the previous party would not leave. Do we have some sort of mechanism in place to deal with that?
No, and I think the reason why we don't is because it almost never happens.
Ever.
This is the first time in 8 years, I believe.
You know, I think that the previous party should be responsible for paying the $100, and I don't know whether you can charge their card for it or
You
not.
know their name now.
Well, and the problem with that is they were denying it, and unless we had some kind of camera system in place, it's.
So there's a he said, she said.
Yeah,
thing
so
going
since
on.
if the second party was telling the truth, then the first reservation time slot had a grand time. We don't owe them anything. If the first party is telling the truth, then this, or lying, then the second party was the one that really messed out. And so we felt like we should give them a refund. And the second party, who were the ones that really kind of were in the right, they were very nice, very kind. The people from the first party were very confrontational. And so you could kind of tell who was telling the truth, but, without having that eyewitness, you really.
I think they actually rented the shelter, so they rented it in the morning, and that's the one they used that day. They rented it in the afternoon on a different day. Brought both receipts and showed the person who showed up in the afternoon both receipts and said, no, I've got it the entire day. So there's just,
Can you just blackball?
well, we can, but it doesn't prevent some other person in the party from making the
Or a spouse or
Exactly.
something.
That's the biggest challenge we've talked about.
This happened
Maybe put a flag on it.
twice in
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah, I put a red flag on the names.
Well, and what actually happened was the lady made the reservation and then had to go out of town. And so she kind of let her family go ahead and have the party.
Right.
So she was the one that signed the contract and paid, but it was the family that was,
Yeah.
that were the stickers.
Anyway, just maybe something to think about.
Yeah, they definitely received an email saying, this is what happened. And obviously, if it continues, you won't be able to rent.
I agree that it'd be nice if we had a way to fix it, but coming from having dealt with that when I was
Sure.
on the state forest, it's one of those things where it's like, you're gonna have losses at the end of the day. It was, what was it, $120?
$100.
Yeah.
$100? For the sake of $100, is it worth trying to draft up some sort of contract that has some sort of, it happens once every 20 years?
Okay.
If it becomes a thing, if word gets out, oh, hey, look, here's the sneak around, here's the, you can call Jamie and only reserve for the morning and then just stay.
Just saying.
you know.
Most people are good. Can't fix it out.
Okay, so we have a motion to, and a second approving the non-reverting claims, so you can call them roll.
Carolyn,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Edward,
Yep.
Serena, and Joe.
Yep. Page 30 in your package, approval of September 2024 credit card charges, only two of them on the list.
I might as well make that motion too, so I'll make a motion to approve the credit card check, check out the in-log for September 2024.
I'll second that.
Second. For discussion, call the roll, please.
Kevin,
Yes.
Edward,
Yep.
Serena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
and Carolyn.
Yes.
Now we're gonna jump down to item 11, new business. A laser equipment quote.
There you go, Andy.
So we currently have a laser grading level for any dirt work that we do, so we can tell the elevation and height drops, but it is old and in sad repair and only does one level of adjustment. So last year when we regraded soccer field one, it took forever to do with our old laser level, so we're looking to upgrade to a new one that does X and Y axis, so we can have tilt going on the field in both directions for drainage. These were the three companies that we got quotes from. None of them really quite match with what they had, but the one down here was the one that we,
This one page.
yeah, that's what I thought. It's the one that actually had what we wanted. And it's the same brand as the one we got now, just an upgraded version.
So it's a tool they need to save time.
We use it on the field, and then, like when we did the porch addition, we used it to set the depth for the posts for all the posts for the porch, and we use it for a bunch of different things out there.
It's $2,400.
Yep.
Hey, do you need a motion for that?
New.
I move that we help allocate $2,400 for Andy to get a laser to play with.
I shouldn't put it quite that way in the formal minute.
You meant it's like a rugby 680.
Yeah.
There is.
Like a Rugby 680 K2 automatic dual slope laser package with the Lux RE160.
2401.
Oh. Man, you guys are sticklers with your motions. I think Jamie knew what I meant, but this isn't being recorded, is
He
it?
made the motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second. Further discussion? Jamie, call the roll.
Yes.
Serena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Carolyn,
Yes.
and Kevin.
Yes. Motion passes. Item B, under new business surplus approval, items they want to surplus there.
We got a handful of things, so we got our old laser level. And the tripod and the stick for the laser.
Became surplus.
It's held together literally with the electrical wire and tape. It's time to go. That basketball, hoop system, that was at Unionville from Best Programs there, and it, stopped scooting on the floor and ripped up their floor, and so they said, get it out of here.
And we can't use it indoor, outdoor,
No,
not safe.
no, so, and then our Rhino,
You can
the
look at it.
frame on it had been rusting for a while, and we knew it was only a matter of time before the wheel fell off, and the wheel finally fell off, so we, it's time to get rid of that thing.
All right, so we need a motion to, put out for surplus the Leica rugby laser, the indoor basketball system, and the Yamaha Rhino UTV.
I'll second that. That was the motion, right?
That was a motion.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Jamie?
Edward,
Yep.
Serena,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Carolyn,
Yes.
and Kevin.
Yes.
So Richard Kreider, the building and fleet manager, will take care of this and then get it to the commissioners for their approval. So, this is, they actually have another basketball goal from local youth services that Richard still can't even find someone to take. So I don't know what he's gonna do with this one. No one wants. We want him out of our.
There's nothing scrap or somebody.
Yeah.
At some point, Richard will probably, he's in charge of them.
All right, item, 12 is the financial, 12 is the financial reports. Take a look, peruse those, Jamie or Kelly or John or anybody have anything they need to point out to us on the financial reports?
Let's see.
As always, Jamie, you do a good job.
Killing it, Jamie.
If you go to, page 39,
39, page 39.
Answers the phone.
you'll look at our balances, but we have been spending from that, so.
we're down to about 300,000 and, 88,000. So those are very good numbers for us. And after we get these big projects out of the way, you'll go, and I'll give you a list of new projects that you might want to consider. But right now, I just want to save money until all these projects are on their way.
Jamie, you have any comments about any of the financial things?
No, it's the end of the year, we're running low in county general fund, so we've been getting kind of creative with our claims lines, but we're doing pretty good. We've got enough to make it to the end of the year, and that's really all we asked for.
Got a decent collections check again.
It's good.
We will have probably parking lot situations. We still have ADA problems. We have drainage problems. So that's part of Andy's projects. Oh my goodness, like 3 years ago. But anyway, we still have projects to get done and ADA projects.
Shovel-ready project.
Shovel-ready projects.
So.
Item 13, final item here, well, almost final. MCPR reports, recreation report, park maintenance report, and human resources report are all in your packet, starting on page 47. Comments from anybody here who wants to talk about it? Andy, you. Don?
Running the animals went well. Actually did not end up having one to cater the event, so
There wasn't alcohol after all.
there was not. So I think they had probably around 200 people. Decent turnout, but a little bit lower than normal. My thought is maybe, well, they're kind of in a transition period too, so I think targeting for this year kind of fell by the wayside, but they also offer a virtual option, which I think maybe reduces the amount of people that show up to the actual event. But overall, it was.
And he does have another event coming up.
Yeah, we've got Fall Festival. That's next Friday, isn't it? The 25th of October at Cars Farm Park. And you buy shelters 1 and 2, hot dogs, s'mores, fun stuff. Costume contest, pumpkins. Yes.
I would know what Jamie's dressing.
I don't know.
I'm a scarecrow.
Scared.
Yeah. It's a good standard. It doesn't scare you.
Yeah, is it coming as the Easter bunny because you got that costume?
It's cool enough, maybe.
Dress up like a bugger and just wear this sweater.
Well, and before we go, Joe, I didn't know if Penny has anything to say or Kate. I mean, it's wonderful to have both of you here. It's It's a pleasure to be here. If you need us to do anything, any suggestions or anything, we do.
I'm excited about the possibility of additional. I'm very excited. I've watched this group kind of.
We appreciate your support very much. Yeah. Both of you.
After Andy gets the engineering done and we determine the feasibility with another field or two, we should figure out how to let the cutters know and, maybe tell them that, as tight as we are, we would like them to help us think about funding the additional replacement.
Well,
Not that
we keep them close, we keep them informed. And I'm just gonna paraphrase, we've taken all their lunch money. They're.
Well, I just want to keep them informed. I don't want to prematurely tell them we're going to do something we don't know that we're going to do.
Oh, yeah, we work with Lewis very closely.
Well, since Joe is occupied, I will have to make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Do it.
Be adjourned.
Sorry for being late, guys.
All right.
Exciting news.
So they have the chance.
Yeah.